Refueling in midair, also called aerial refueling, is the process where one aircraft transfers fuel to another while both are flying. This technique allows military planes such as bombers, fighter jets, and surveillance aircraft to stay in the air for much longer periods without needing to land. It is used to extend the range of an aircraft, support long-distance missions, and allow for continuous operations during combat or strategic patrols. The aircraft that provides the fuel is known as the tanker, while the one receiving fuel is called the receiver. The process usually involves two large aircraft flying very close to each other at high speeds and altitude. The receiving aircraft must match the speed and position of the tanker, which requires very precise and skilled flying. There are two main ways aerial refueling is done. One is the flying boom method, which is mainly used by the United States Air Force. In this method, the tanker has a long, rigid tube called a boom. A specially trained boom operator controls this boom from the back of the tanker, steering it into a small opening on the receiving aircraft. Once the boom is connected, fuel is pumped directly into the receiving aircraft's fuel tanks. This method allows for a faster transfer of large amounts of fuel and is typically used for large aircraft such as bombers and cargo planes. The second method is called probe and drogue, commonly used by the U.S. Navy and many other air forces around the world. In this method, the tanker trails a flexible hose with a small cone-shaped basket at the end, known as the drogue. The receiving aircraft has a long, narrow probe on its nose or wing. The pilot carefully flies the probe into the drogue to make the connection. Once connected, fuel flows through the hose into the aircraft. This method is often used for smaller, more agile aircraft like fighter jets and helicopters. The entire refueling process takes place at high altitude and high speed, usually around 500 to 600 kilometers per hour. The two aircraft must fly just a few meters apart, which can be very challenging, especially in poor weather or at night. Pilots must rely on careful coordination and constant communication. Nighttime refueling or refueling during combat conditions adds more risk, and both aircraft are vulnerable during this time. In the case of long-range bombers like the B-2 Spirit, mid-air refueling is a routine part of operations. A B-2 can fly from the United States to distant parts of the world without stopping, thanks to refueling aircraft such as the KC-135 or KC-46. During these missions, the B-2 links up with a tanker in the sky, receives fuel through the boom, and continues its flight. This process can be repeated several times during a single mission if needed. Mid-air refueling is a highly efficient system that gives air forces great flexibility. It allows aircraft to respond quickly to global threats, carry heavier payloads over longer distances, and stay airborne for extended missions. This capability plays a vital role in military strategy and operations around the world. Thank you for reading. For more clear and simple explanations about military systems and technology, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.